Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to The Sims, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. Today we're doing kind of a really rustic, off-the-grid style cabin with a bit of a camper type vibe. The idea here was with the conservationist career and working on the island, I kind of liked the idea of like a group of like maybe post-grad or like brand new like little baby conservationists coming out and really like living kind of roughly with the idea of it being like an expedition trip. Now, Sulani isn't really built with that idea in mind, although this lot is on one of the more, quote, secluded islands. But this is just a fun story that I personally enjoy telling, the idea of someone coming out and kind of like roughing it a little bit, getting lots of good information on the island, things like that. And it kind of plays well with that the conservationist track, like bringing the turtles back and things like that. So I set this up, I believe, for 6 Sims to come live. Now that might be a lot of people to play with on this lot, especially if you're going to truly play it off the grid. I believe everything I used is off the grid friendly, although I could be wrong on the toilet, so I may have to swap that out to make it fully off the grid. I kind of started with that idea in mind and then sort of forgot about it while I was just trying to figure out the other storylines. You also don't have to play it completely off the grid. You could also play it with just the idea of like sometimes the power goes out or the power's just fine out here and you're running on a generator. There's lots of ideas. And then I wanted like most of the activity to be outside. So really the cabin is just the beds, the bathroom, and the kitchen, but there's not really even places to sit inside. There's a little bit of places to sit on the porch. But the idea was you're always out doing stuff. So I'm building this little like boat shed thing. That's what I was calling it, kind of a run-in, where I wanted it to look like they were storing like their bikes to get to town. And I believe we put, the word for it just escaped me. Is it catamaran? The sailboats. That's also not the correct term. We've got one of those in there. I will say my game has started doing this fun thing where I put spandrels without fences, and it leaves a little mark in the sand. It's only happening some of the time, but you might see that happening in this build. I hope it doesn't happen for you. You can kind of see it on and off there a little bit. So, but that's the only way I can figure out how to put spandrels, like where I want them. And I wanted it to look supported. Like I wanted it to have beams. I just didn't want it to have fences. I didn't really want it to be a room. It's supposed to just be a roof with columns. And here I was trying to figure out the window situation. I ended up going with, I believe those are snowy escape windows, which actually work really well in this particular application because it's almost like a log cabin, right? It's almost got log cabin vibes, but it's not quite. So, and there is a single bathroom, but split bathroom setup. So there's 2 stalls there. One is the sink and toilet, and one is the shower stall. And I did that because if you're going to have 6 single Sims living here, oh, that's fun to say, 6 single Sims, you're going to want, you're going to want to be able to do those things separately. Because if someone's showering, your Sims are going to be holding it for a long time and stuff like that. Originally, I was going to try to do 2 completely separate bathrooms. I made them way too tight. I'll be honest with you, like, that was totally just a miscalculation on my part. And then I was like, do I want to punch them out? No. I don't really want to redesign it, like, that hard. So, and I tried to make it really bare bones, and then I tried to make it kind of look like each bunk had sort of its own little, maybe I did 8. Is it 8 people could sleep here? Maybe it's 8 people could sleep here. I honestly can't remember. I built this literally, like, a week ago. So it's funny to me that I can't remember. It's funny to me that I can't remember, but also in the last week the creator kits have come out, so I was playing with the cozy kitsch. What is that kit called? The My Shido-san kit. And I've been playing I've been building a couple of rentals. I've been really into Sulani lately. It's the time of year where it's very cold where I live, and I've just been really wanting to be with the warm weather vibes. I also around this time of year often build in Oasis Springs. I just haven't like felt the itch quite as much as Sulani. I've been really enjoying playing with Sulani. Here I was trying to figure out how to make like more like cubbies, but like really like low, what's the word I'm looking for, like low effort cubbies, and then I kind of gave up. We don't have the tools for that. I believe these are the werewolf beds, the werewolf pack beds. Werewolf is a very hard word to say. And I've never really used them, but they're really pretty. They're obviously very rustic because everything about that pack is very sort of torn up and very rustic. But I thought they worked here because, again, this is supposed to be It's almost giving summer camp, but that's not the vibe I was going for. I was going for like ranger cabin kind of, but like also a home, because like if you're gonna live up here with 8 other people or 7 other people, you're gonna want it to be cozy, and you're gonna want your little space, and you're gonna want it to be warm. And I also kind of loved the idea of, if you really got like a bunch of Sims up here all working together, that maybe they could turn it into a home. Like they could patch up the roof a little bit, they could really like work to make this little ranger's cabin space really pleasant to be in. And, you know, depending what your stories are, if you have like someone who's really handy, maybe you could justify like, well, this sim or these 2 Sims are so handy that they were able to put an addition on, and, you know, suddenly you have more bedrooms. Or the sim is super handy, and the sim is super, like, a really good chef, so you guys decide to build like a really nice outdoor kitchen here or something like that. Maybe move some Sims off the lot, some new ones come in. Like, there's lots of stories to be told here, and that was kind of the idea. This is one of those builds where I didn't like have a specific story in mind, but I knew like of like 3 different stories I could tell here, so I wanted to give them the opportunity to be told. With the roofs on the boat shed, that's the one with the skylight in it. It's pretty cool. I kind of wanted to do that on the roof on the cabin, but I didn't want it to actually have like holes and stuff. I was like, it's not that run down. It's just government kept up, you know? Was the idea. And then I wanted to put a little cook stove in. I decided like halfway through this, you'll see me struggle, that I wanted to put, lockers in, because I was watching Backpacking Bananas and she was staying in a hostel and they had lockers, obviously. And I was like, oh, that'd have been really smart. But I didn't give myself a place in this build to do that. And again, I wasn't willing to like reorganize the entire thing to figure that out, or like move walls and stuff. So I opted against it. I just did like a bunch of bags in the corner and stuff, and kind of worked under the assumption that there was probably a little bit of storage in the bunk beds, and also that you were probably traveling pretty dang late, things like that. But it would be cool to have some sort of storage. But with like, because I used like the backpacks and the suitcases and stuff, there is a way to change, like, for gameplay purposes. Your sim could change here, your sim could cook here, your sim could, I think, fulfill pretty much all of their needs here. I don't know if there's like a specific item for fun, but it's Sulani, so you can go swimming. Yeah. Or I guess technically the catamaran, I believe, raises up fun. So there's that item as well. And it depends what your sim's into. I had a woodworking station outside, you'll see in a few minutes, that I thought would be kind of cool. It kind of made sense within the realm of things. I thought it might be a fun sort of like compatible skill along with a conservationist career. Like it kind of made sense story-wise. There's some garden plots. There is laundry on this lot. There is no hamper, because that is always a choice I want you to make. If I'm playing with a specific family that I want to play laundry with, then I will put a hamper in. But for the most part, in something like this, which is really meant to be a set piece for you to tell your stories on, which is something I love to do. I've talked about this before. I love making houses for like friends playing this game and stuff, because sometimes their stories are way more interesting than my stories. That's why I've never done a Sims Let's Play on the channel, is because as much as I have fun telling stories, my stories are always kind of the same. I love the little, like, let's play with the family, and let's see the Sim succeed, and let's maybe play their kids, and, you know, let's keep them alive because I'm emotionally attached. And some of my friends are like, oh yeah, well, she was married to this guy, and then he cheated, and then he had a baby with that guy, and then, you know, and all this, and now they're all living together, but they're all exes, and I'm just like, holy crap, your stories are hella interesting. So every once in a while, a friend will come and be like, I need a house for, like, 8 Sims, and they need to be this, that, and here's their stories, and I'm like, yeah. Love doing that. I think that's super fun. Which, this was not the point I was trying to make. The point that I was trying to make was I enjoy building, like, fun set pieces like that for people to use in their storytelling. But it did lead me to an interesting point of, if you all have stories you want to tell, like, if you want to leave, I don't even know, like, a comment or whatever, and you're like, I have this sim and this sim and this sim, and, you know, they have this many kids, and we need this, that would be a really fun challenge for me to be like, okay, so this is what I know about these Sims, you know, and then I can, I don't know, put it up on the gallery, I guess, or set out tray files. I need to figure out a place to host tray files. I have a URL, like I have a domain, but I haven't, I think I still have the site set up, but I started working on it, and then I didn't love the way it was coming out, and I didn't really have a plan, so I never really like chased it down, you know. But it might be cool to like actually get a little website set up to like be able to host things like that, because then if you guys like want that, I can just leave your tray files like under a specific post or something. Here I am fighting with these lockers. I wanted this to work so bad, and there is a different set of lockers that might have worked better, but the door, I just couldn't get the doors quite right, and it ended up being quite literally just more effort than it was worth. So I kind of just ultimately gave up. Yeah, because here I was even trying to move it there, but then it made that door weird, and I just, it was one of those ideas that didn't pan out. Maybe if we had like a 2-locker item, I could have like maybe made it work or something. But it's alright. It's all good. We got something else that we like better. Here I'm playing with windows. But I really want it to be rustic. It is kind of log cabin-y. But log cabins aren't like specific to the mountains. You find them in different places. So I think it works in this environment, and it worked with a lot of the wood swatches. I know, shocking. The Sims 4 and matching wood swatches. Who knew? I happened to stumble apparently upon all of them that matched. I don't know what to tell you. And I love these lights in here. These like really rustic, like they remind me of like shop lights, right? For like an auto mechanic shop. I just think they're really like the icing on the cake for this build. This is what I was talking about with the laundry and stuff. So laundry shouldn't spawn, I believe, unless you have a hamper. But all the stuff is out there. So all you would need to do is put a hamper somewhere. And honestly, like, you could stick it anywhere, realistically, and it would be fine. Here into the boat shed, I decided to put, I think, 2 bikes, a catamaran, and I can't remember offhand if I put a jet ski or not. Yeah, I honestly can't remember now. But I definitely think I put some of the fishing doodads in there. You know, the thingies that kind of look like fish traps. There you go. I believe I put some of those in there because I think you need those for the conservationist career. I honestly can't remember now. Or maybe I put them in the other build. I thought I put some in there. We'll have to see. And of course a campfire, because you cannot have a ranger station / conservationist station / sleepaway camp without a campfire. What are you even doing if you're not camping out on the beach? And then I decided this corner over here needed something, and this is where I ended up putting the handing the skill. And it's a good skill building item. I can talk tonight. But also you could use this little area for whatever you wanted. If you didn't want to be a woodworker, you could put an easel under there. You could turn it into a greenhouse. You could turn the big boat shed into a greenhouse. That would actually be really fun too. Another story you could tell here is have a single sim buy this place and decide they're going to convert it into their home, and then slowly like rags to riches it in like an abandoned summer camp / conservationist camp / whatever. Like maybe pretend like they got it in like government auction for like hella cheap. Government, at least in my country, government does not auction off land cheaply. But like you could tell that story. Yeah, I did put the fish things in there. Cool. I put a guitar by the thingy on the porch because there's always one guy who, here's Wonderwall. And a bee box, because I found a lot of fun with those recently in just gameplay. The bees are kind of a fun little interesting touch, and you can sell the beeswax. I put a grill out because it's always good to have a grill. You want your Sims to be adequately lit on fire at all given times. So, and then I hung some lights and stuff in here. Oh yeah, a kava bowl. A kava bowl is pretty important in Sulani, because you can host kava parties, which I think you can host anywhere, but it's pretty prevalent in Sulani, and sometimes people will come over and want that. So, worth noting. I did put 2 different woodworking tables in there. One's base game, one's from the artist's kit that I can't remember the official name of. And yeah, they do the same thing. They're the exact same thing. But I thought because they were shaped different and had different components in them, they kind of looked like 2 parts of a workshop. So it kind of looked to me like a fun little area, and I thought it worked. You could also trade one of those out for another skill. This was entirely an aesthetic choice. This was me entirely just enjoying the way they looked together. And in a woodworking, like a workshop, you would probably have more than one place where you're working on projects, because then you can have more than one project going. Setting out some lanterns for a little bit of ambient light. This is mostly because, like, when you're actually playing the game, it can get really dark and really hard to see. And I think I've mentioned this about 100 times on this channel. I'm like real blind. Not real blind, but like I have an extreme prescription, and yours truly is like a little bit night blind. I'm like severely nearsighted. I'm like a little bit of a mess. So sometimes I look back on these builds and I'll be like, wow, I put like a lot of lights in, but like for my gameplay, I need a lot of light. So sometimes I wonder if people are like, geez. But just know it's because I'm like nose to monitor playing these games, trying to see what's going on. I hung some fairy lights in the woodworking area. I couldn't make it work here quite in the way I wanted. I think if I had worked at it harder, I could have pulled it off, but I couldn't quite get it on the porch. I really wish I had played with that a little bit more. But I did hang some in the woodworking station, and I thought that was kind of cool because then you could work a little bit later at night. And I didn't mind it so much on the porch, missing on the porch, just because you had the ambient light from inside, so it made sense. Here I'm decorating each and individual bunk. I had like one little person hang up fairy lights, and then I believe one has like a teddy bear, and a couple have different pillows and stuff, to trying to make it look like people with personalities each have a bunk. You know, brought some comforts from home. This is where I also saw those cabinet doors on the top of the bed, and I fully was like, oh, they have little cabinets. What a cute use of a bed frame. I'm realizing now the bed is just built out of doors. Like, the door is just the headboard. But I stand by, how cute would it be to have a little bunk bed with like an actual little storage space on the top? That'd be really cute, like especially if you were trying to save space and stuff. That would be really, really fun. Yeah, there's like the teddy bear, and I put like the little love heart dude. And I think, yeah, here's where I start putting in the backpacks and stuff. So I don't know if that one is, but that one for sure is, the little owl. And then I believe I also do the luggage. Here I was so optimistic. Here I'm trying to put like more stuff in. I don't think I end up finding something that works. I think I end up giving up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I find something. I don't think I do. I ended up, there was a couple things that fit, but nothing that felt like it made sense in the room, you know? It almost needs to be like one wider in each direction to make it work. So here's where I just started like stacking furniture or luggage and stuff, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna make it look like there's a lot of luggage. So the luggage itself, the like actual suitcases and the closed backpacks, I believe work as wardrobes. And in this particular instance, that means the blue one that is on screen right now will be reachable, but they're also, I believe, live draggable, so you can just drag them out if you want to use them. Those are all wardrobes. I think the open one, if I recall, is not. I think that's just a clutter object, so do bear that in mind. But I like the idea of having one open, because there's always that one person, me, who leaves their luggage open and everywhere. Still me, always me. It's a problem. And here I was trying to figure out curtains. I ended up, I believe, going with these, just because they, in that pattern, kind of looked a little bit older. You know, like they had a, maybe been there for a while, and that they could be pulled closed. Because, you know, when you're out in the wilderness, you do actually probably want to be able to close your blinds and stuff occasionally. Block out the morning sun if you stayed up late, things like that. And then, I can't remember if I put railings on or not. I feel like maybe I did, but I also could be wrong. Like I said, I built this not that long ago, but a lot of it is still a mystery to me. And I think it's because I was building it. This is a lunch break build, which I haven't actually done in a while, but this is a lunch break build. And yeah, also each and every one of the chairs I tried to do a little bit different because I wanted it to look like everyone brought their own chair. That is my favorite look, because growing up, we didn't camp a lot, but when we did camp or things like that, we all had our own chair, and it was so fun because like you get to set up your little space. And if you were me and a bookworm, you would have like your little chair with your little drink and your little book and hook it up by the fire. Growing up, a couple of my family members owned a little bit of property in a place called Ocean Shores, which is right on the beach. And it was so wonderful. I think they still own it. And they go down there every once in a while. Every once in a while she'll message me and she'll be like, do you remember the cabin? You can come down. I'm like, yeah, it's a really long drive now, but I appreciate it. And unfortunately, I was a little bit of a busy bee, and I was trying to make it look like the paths were a little bit muddy because they were being walked on all the time. And I did try to put some lush greenery around, make this path, this area look a little bit less like a mud pit. But I will tell you, with the glitches happening right now, I doubt you'll get to download the terrain paint. To be fully honest with you, I don't think the terrain paint's gonna make it. I have had pretty rough luck getting terrain paint to stick around, even in my own builds, let alone getting things off the gallery. So I would not be surprised. I apologize about that. But you can see it in the video, so you can like recreate it, you know, if you wanted. Here I was trying to make it look like there was a couple things in here, some hairbrushes, combs rather, some sunscreen, and then obviously some extra toilet paper, a necessity anywhere. Really just kind of a rough bathroom, but like a usable one. And there I just put like a little like soap bin in the corner with some like soap on the wall as well, because I figured like if you're gonna live there long term, some people are gonna be comfortable leaving their stuff in the shower. Some people are gonna like bring their soaps in and out. When I've had roommates and stuff, I've always been I just bring my soap in and out. I don't feel comfortable keeping my stuff in public spaces. I always feel like I'm imposing, so that's just me. But here's the screenshots. Yeah, there's like a little cooler in there, some bikes. There you can get a really good look at kind of like, it made it look like a storage shed. Put a little bit of like mossier ground in there, so some of it looks like it's been stored a while. There's a lot of work to be done here, but I think it would be there's like a lot of stories that can be told here, all of which I think would be really, really fun. And I'm really happy with this. And it's just something different. I haven't done like more of like, I don't even know. It's not quite a community lot, but like kind of a community lot like this in a while. I'm really enjoying. And I'm just loving Sulani because it's so cold here. But anyways, guys, I've been talking for forever, and you're probably tired of hearing my voice, so I'm going to go. I hope you're having a great day and you're feeling loved. And if you're not feeling loved, please know that I love you. I'm glad you're here hanging out. You make the world a better place just by being you. And if you don't think I mean that, know I've been looking forward to this all day. I am going to go to bed now because it's my bedtime, and I will talk to y'all in the next one. Okay, love you. Bye.